Hi, good morning slash afternoon, everybody. My name is Joe Gehring. I'm the Vice President of Driver Recruiting here at Anderson Trucking.
My name is Patrick. I'm a recruiter. I work with Joe pretty closely and with his team of recruiters here at Anderson Trucking.
So, first, we want to welcome everybody who's joining us. So, this is the first of a weekly event that we're going to start doing. So, until further notice, we'll be doing these Ask Us Anything Facebook Lives from Anderson Trucking every Thursday at 11 o'clock. As these go on, probably one of the most important things that whether you're watching us live or you watch this after it's been completed, you can continually add questions, you can continually add comments and recommendations to that. And we really want to make sure that you're telling us if there's a better time of the day for us to be doing this to be able to grab you while you're available and not in your truck. We're open to any suggestions to try to make this as good for you as we can. So I am going to tell you we're gonna basically open up the floor to any kind of questions that we've got coming in. And usually the beginning kind of starts out a little bit slower, but we're going to talk a little bit about we're pretty proud of how we do our orientations here at Anderson Trucking, and so Pat's going to spend a couple of minutes of kind of telling you guys what we believe makes us different from all the other folks out there.
Yeah, most definitely. So one thing that does set us apart here at Anderson Trucking with our orientation program, we're not putting you on a Greyhound bus and shuttling you up here. I mean, honestly, we're going to do a rental car. We're going to get that squared away. We're going to pay for fuel to get you up here. And honestly, we love to fly you up here too, but with COVID, sometimes there is certain restrictions on that. But when we do flights, we take care of that, take care of your baggage, get you up here as well. And the one most important thing that I always hear is, do I have to share a room with someone, like a random person? No. I mean, we take care of the room. You get your own room, 3 meals a day for you. And also, we love to have it when you bring your spouse, because this is a family company. With COVID, spouses are allowed to come at the hotel, but not directly to orientation. So they can be there waiting for you at the hotel for you. But during orientations, we're trying to make sure everybody's safe, 6 feet away, and limiting the amount of people in there as well. Joe, anything I may have missed?
Well, so we're pretty excited about announcing a new facility that we've got down in Porter, Indiana. So all of our contractors come up to St. Cloud, Minnesota to our corporate office, and all of our company drivers go to our brand new facility down in Porter, Indiana. It's built completely fresh. We just moved in the first of this month and on March 1st. The facilities allow us to, so me and Pat were going to joke a little bit and put our arms out to say, yes, we are social distance and we're keeping our distance to make sure everybody stays healthy. But we had to do some new facilities anyway, and so it's a new shop, brand new training facility, new securement bays. We've got new simulators that our safety department has purchased. We've just put 2 up here in St. Cloud. We just put 2 brand new ones down in Porter, Indiana. So we really have one chance to do our orientation right. And I communicate this a lot to where we've got one chance to get your attention, and onboarding is the most important step after the application process starts. So I'll tell you that I believe that you'll be very pleased with the experience, but we do ask for feedback on that. Other than that, we want you to know that you're not just a number when you're coming through. We try to make it a very personal experience, and I'll be the first one. If you've got a spouse, significant other, we always encourage you to be able to have them come with you, because we want them to be part of your new job and new career with us as well. So I'm kind of just waiting to see if we got any questions that are going to start coming up here. And Samantha, if you're listening, you might need to come in here for the old guy that might not be looking at the comments here properly. But we're going to go ahead and just keep discussing some of this. Sorry, we're going to keep discussing some of the other things that we think is important to you. So I think we all agree that pay is probably one of the most important things. But I've got this statement basically that I believe in strongly. There's so many questions about coming to a new company. We know that pay, everybody's coming to work to take care of their families, but at the end of the day, if we have to look at everything. We talk about careers matters and home time matters and all of those. really everything matters. And so we do these Facebook Lives and go to this Ask Us Anything because we actually believe that there's no question that's a bad question, and some people just don't want to ask them. They're concerned about asking those. So, we encourage you to throw anything at us you would like to. So, Pat, anything you want to add there?
To go with, pay, that is one of the biggest things that I hear all the time. We still hear that, carriers out there are paying drivers 30 cents, 37 cents per mile, and they're struggling to support their families, and they have to be out months at a time to actually make a decent paycheck. Here at ATS, I mean, our company drivers are averaging 65 cents, which is great. And then most drivers are only doing the 2 weeks out, then 2 days home. So you don't have to be out months at a time. It's something that sets us apart. And also we got regional areas in the Midwest and the Southeast for our drive-in division that can get you home on the weekends, which is great. Flatbed, that's strictly OTR due to our customers and our freight lanes. But Flatbed Specialized is definitely killing it, especially to progress you up into our heavy haul division as well. So we have that opportunity.
Yeah, Pat, I'd like you to take a couple of minutes. So I'm going to kind of address the company drivers for a minute. So we believe that we've got probably two of the most unique programs that you're not hearing about in the industry. So it's actually, they kind of overlap. Probably the first one is a program called Upside Pay. This program began well over a year ago. And what we do here at ATS is for our company drivers, we started a base CPM. So the lowest level that a van over-the-road driver makes is 50 cents a mile. The lowest that our flatbed specialized drivers make is 55 cents. But it's either that CPM or 24% of the revenue on that load. And so between those two, it's been consistent since we started this that our drivers are averaging 65 cents or greater per mile. And we have this guarantee. Pat, maybe you want to address this new 12-week for every 4 weeks?
Yep. So on the van side, it's a $1,300 weekly guarantee for the first 12 weeks. On the flatbed specialized company side, it's $1,350, and that goes for the first 12 weeks. That helps you transition from company A to Anderson Trucking, knowing that you are going to have steady paychecks. You're not going to have to worry about, what if another COVID uptick hits and the freight shuts down? Doesn't matter. I mean, as long as you're able to run, you're going to be able to get that $1,300 or $1,350 each week. And actually that starts, I believe it's $500 on the first. As soon as you're done with orientation, you get $500. And then it's $700 the following Friday, correct?
Yep. So, and what I'm going to encourage everybody to do if you're watching us live today is on our Drive, the number 4 ATS website page. Go there. We spell everything out to where there's no confusion. So, Christopher, I appreciate that question. I'm going to tell you right now, Anderson Trucking Service has been around since 1955, and I've been here for 30 years. And I'm going to say that the career path, I don't know that anybody bridges a career path better than what we do. We have about 47% of our drivers that come to ATS. We don't have a student program, we don't have a training program, but we do train flatbed drivers. So if your experience is pulling a dry van or a reefer or tankers, whatever it might be, and you want to go to open deck, you come in as a brand new flatbedder. We will train you for day one. But the cool part is you go from basically a starting point, which is a 5-axle configuration, which is a 3-axle tractor, 2-axle trailer. You can grow all the way up to our 19-axle configuration and our dual lane. So that career path is very, very big. And a lot of folks get about halfway there, and you can still be a heavy hauler without getting all the way up to a 19-axle. But the opportunity is there. If your commitment is there, your safety record is there, that's a great question. So you got to start somewhere, and every one of our heavy haulers started somewhere. But getting into heavy haul is absolutely a great career path here. And it said you'd ask about lease purchase. For all of our positions, you can either come in under our lease program, you can come in as a true owner operator with your own truck as long as it meets our specifications, or come into the company side. And there's a lot of good questions that are kind of come through here. So it says contract driver rates. Nate, I'm not sure if I'm specifically understanding your question. I'm going to say that our contractors, they're paid 65% of the line haul plus any kind of OD, stop charges and all of that stuff is on top of that. But for pure line haul, it's 65% of the operating revenue. And if you have any questions above that, now that number actually can go up with tenure. But anybody new starting with ATS, that's where it starts.
Yep.
Okay.
Plus, on top of that, you do get a 100% fuel surcharge, and ATS doesn't nickel and dime you. There's no trailer rental fees or anything like that. We pay for plates and permits. If you're on the flatbed specialized side or the heavy haul side, and you need pilot cars, ATS takes care of that too. That's not an expense for our lease drivers.
Yeah, good, very good point with that. Hey, Bobby, you're on there right now, and so I'm going to just tell you guys right now, my name is Joe. I'm going to put my email out there. My email is about as easy as it gets. It's just Joe, J-O-E, at ATSINC.com, and that's for Anderson Trucking Service, Inc. Anybody that wants to reach out to me after this Facebook Live, so Bobby, I'd love to review your application and get a little more detailed with you. If you're asking why you got rejected, I'll be glad to go through it and make sure that you're fully aware if there was an issue or is an issue, to make sure you're clear on what it is and what you need to do to be able to overcome that, because we'd sure love to have that opportunity. Okay, Bob, you got a couple other comments. So you and I can chat when you give me a call. I've got a question. How much can I make as a company driver? Pat?
Pretty good money. Actually, really good money. Honestly, so it matters what division you're looking at, our drive-in or flatbed specialized, but just to give you a ballpark, we got company drivers that average anywhere between $1,300 and $1,700 each week before taxes. So that's really good money, in my opinion, for a company driver.
And I want to touch on that. So listen, we've got the 4-week guarantee that Pat talked about earlier. So if every 4 weeks on the van division you're not making at least $5,200, and on the flatbed division making at least $5,400, that comes out to $1,300 a week minimum earnings for the vans, and $1,350 minimum for the flatbed. So when Pat said making between 13 and 17, the reality is 13 is the bottom. 13 or 13.50 is the bottom. But every driver drives differently, and so if you're out there and somebody who's working, getting to the far right of that and making $1,700, $1,800, $1,900, we got drivers making over $2,000. But these are guys that have been with us. They've learned it. They're keeping a clean record. They're working
for it.
Yep, they go to work. So we believe that, and we are a top pay carrier. That may not mean much to many folks, but we actually have an independent auditor come in, and they review our drivers' earnings on W-2s and I-9s or 1099s compared to the competition, and we are in the top 10% of the earnings. So if you're looking to be a commercial over-the-road driver and being out 2 weeks at a time is what you're looking for, the money is there. For sure, the money is there. We got a lot of great questions coming, and I hope we can get to them all. So what about 5-year OTR? So listen, we have a couple of things to where our sign-on bonuses grow based on your experience. So what I would do, William, same thing, call into one of the recruiters. We have to look at each driver individually on their full application. So we look at the 5 years of over-the-road experience, but then we also look at safety. We look at what were you pulling? Was it over-dimensional? Was it legal? Was it over the road? Was it regional? So there's just too many variables, but every one of you that wants to know exactly where it falls for you, like I said, we do this to make sure we can answer the questions the best we can on this set, but call us. We'd love to go through the programs in detail with each of you individually. You see any up there that you want to grab here quick, Pat?
Jared's, how long will it take me to get to a 19 axle realistically? Honestly, for a driver coming right into flatbed specialized and progressing to heavy haul, the fastest anyone's ever done it, I forget the gentleman's name, but it was 12 months. But in real,
he made it to heavy haul.
Right. That wasn't 19 axle. But To get to heavy haul, we usually say about 2 to 3 years if you're coming in to flatbed specialized. To get to 19 axle, it all comes down to freight, your safety. Joe, you'd have to tell him a time frame.
Yeah. I don't even like to put a time frame, but what I will tell you is that freight conditions always play a huge role. Right now, until manufacturing kicks back in, it's taking drivers a little bit longer right now because the big freight, we're the number one hauler of wind turbines. I think most people know that that's probably our biggest thing that we do. We do a ton, but that's one thing that's kind of become a niche for us. So I would have to say that to get to heavy haul, 2 years is probably realistic. And after that, it's going to take a number of years. And if freight is good, first you get, to get into heavy haul, you're going to be getting into a multi-axle where it's probably a 6-axle combination. Then you jump up to a multi-axle, which is going up to 11-axle combination. Then you get up to a 13-axle combination. And then you jump to the 17-axle combination. So those are all rather big steps. But you can assure yourself that every one of those steps, there's a learning curve that you're going to want to stay at for a while before you take that next leap. So I hope that answered it well enough. Pat, anything else you're seeing right now?
Nope. Looks like the APUs, James. To answer your question, it's a giant expense. I think it's $10,000 to $14,000 for APU to be installed on a truck. And with our lease programs out there, we're doing 1 and 2 year leases. That's a great opportunity for you to test out that truck. No money down. It's a walkaway lease. And then our hope is that truck is a fit for you and you either get financing and purchase out or extend the lease out. But if it's not, we have a great opportunity. It's a TAP program and you can use your lease completion bonus, go to our Freightliner dealership, purchase a truck, and get it spec'd out and put an APU in it.
Yeah, and being around as long as we have been, I don't know of anybody else out there that's doing a no money down, no credit check, 1 year lease program. And that program is in place to give a new contractor the opportunity to find out if leasing with ATS is what they want to do. Mm-hmm. Most of the folks that do come on the 1 year lease, or even the 2 year lease if that's what they elect to do, they end up purchasing a truck. And that second truck that they get into, we're going to find them what they're looking for. And if they want to do a longer term lease, without a doubt, APUs are an option there. We are looking at current options right now. We're considering a couple of ways of maybe doing a little bit longer lease, and is there going to have to be some money down on it? But until the program is in place, we'd pretty much just say that at this point, anybody who's coming in on the 1 and the 2 year lease, APUs are not an option yet. Okay, I hope that helps.
Let's see here. Hey Preston, I talked to you this morning. Thanks for joining on Facebook. The 5400 does not apply to lease drivers, that guaranteed pay. Just for the fact there's no forced dispatch on the lease side. So it's completely up to you to accept loads and decline loads. It'd be unfair if a driver was declining loads all the time and still expecting to get a guaranteed pay.
Very good answer. Yep, very good answer. So got questions, what do you have out of the Texas area? So we've actually got terminals in Houston, Texas, and we've got a terminal down in Laredo, Texas. We don't have any regional runs down there, but if you're from that area, and again, if running 2 weeks is what you're looking for, we've got a lot of drivers and we've got a lot of great facilities down in the Texas area. So hopefully that helps you out there, Nate. So where are our terminals located? Appreciate that question, Kelly. So our headquarters is in St. Cloud, Minnesota. Mm-hmm. Now, we don't have a lot of facilities all over the U.S. We have a ton of trailer drop yards and so forth, but our main facilities are, I'll go as far north as we can. We've got offices up in Canada. I believe it's in Edmonton and in the Calgary area. We've got one here in St. Cloud, which is our corporate headquarters, Porter, Indiana, Houston, Texas, Jacksonville, Florida, and Laredo, Texas, and those are the main hubs. Everything else that we've got a number of multiple acre yards that we consider to be our trailer drop yards or switch slots.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, definitely. And Christopher, I jotted your name down. Same with Bobby. I'll make sure that your recruiter can kind of go over your application, and if Joe needs to reach out to you, he definitely can. And Preston, yep, we do got freight going in and out of Iowa. Your home is where you told me you live is not a problem at all for the home time.
Well, and Christopher, I'm going to go ahead and just quickly address. So when I say that Anderson, and maybe I didn't say this earlier, but ATS only does hire experienced over-the-road drivers, and so that limits a few things. But the minimum requirements that we have is to be able to be a company driver for ATS. You need to have a total of 6 consecutive months is what we'd like to see with one carrier. We know that there's been a lot of things happening in the industry, especially since COVID, and carriers making false promises. So we've seen a little bit of job hopping, and so we'll take everyone individually. But we like to see at least 6 months verified over the road to come into one of our company trucks. And for our lease program, we have a 1-year lease. We'd like to see that you've done 1 year with somebody else before you come our way. So now there are times that we'll accept 12 months experience between 2 different carriers. And like Pat said, we evaluate the entire application, and we do make some exceptions for that on occasion, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We're keeping caught up okay here. Well, Teresa, thanks for your comments. And we loved having you here. And please keep in touch with us, when things improve. Anyway, love seeing our past drivers and active drivers on here. So, it looks like Paul, so I'm going to just introduce one of our guys. Pat, go ahead and introduce Paul.
Well, Paul is working for ATS. He's been here for a while now, and he just got into recruiting, and that guy knows his stuff. He was a driver. So it's always funny talking to drivers, and they go like, oh, you've never been in the seat. No, I haven't. But let me get you to Paul. He has, and he can tell you how it is at ATS. He's a great recruiter here at ATS.
And I got to be honest, we have a lot of experience in the recruiting department, you guys. So I've told everybody I've been here a little over 30 years, but my average tenure of our recruiters is over 6 years. So we don't have a lot of folks that are bouncing around, very inexperienced, don't know the trucking industry. The folks that you're talking to, I'll put my recruiters against anybody, and they will answer any question that you have. But I love these questions coming in. Mississippi, another great place for us. So when I tell you that we've got a facility down in Jacksonville, Florida, that southeast regional area is very good for us. So Mississippi is also a very good location. If being out 2 weeks at a time is not a problem for you, it's very easy for us to get you home every 2 weeks from that area.
Yep. And Rob, we got drive-in and flatbed specialized in Mississippi.
Okay, what do we got here? We fell a little bit. Well, we're catching up here a little bit. Jared, I appreciate the comments. I really do. I'm on Heavy Hill. I've been running since February 16th, steady. So, like I said, so Albert, I appreciate you coming and joining us as one of our active drivers. It takes folks like you to be on these Facebook Lives to let some of the potential other candidates that are looking to come this way hear from our drivers directly. So really, thanks for taking the time to join us on the session. Looks like you got somebody who's been talking to you.
Yeah. Well, I know I talked to Preston this morning. Rob, I can definitely follow up with you and everything like that.
Okay. Well, and I maybe introduce. So, hey, Rob, Pat will end up giving you a buzz. It sounds like you guys have been chatting. So, everybody, we're going to stay on for just a few more minutes here. We're kind of limited to about 30 minutes just because of the time of the day. But if we got questions coming in, we're not going to stop until the questions slow down here a little bit. Lewis, you would ask about, do we still have Southeast Regional? Pat, you want to cover that a little bit?
Yes, we do. That is strictly for our drive-in lease. Honestly, it hits Georgia, a little bit of Tennessee, a little bit of Alabama and South Carolina. Those drivers have the opportunity to go home weekly, and that's for our 2-year lease with our leasing program here at ATS.
I got to make one quick comment. So somebody just called out saying, I always see your trucks at Okanite. I'm going to take you back to 1990 when I started working here. That was one of my first accounts. with Anderson Trucking, and to know that they're still one of our top customers 30 years later. That's what we love. The customers we get them and we keep them.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hey, James.
Well, so Brandy, I see your comment. We actually talked through orientation at the very beginning on the first session of this.
Yeah.
So if you have an opportunity to go back and listen to that, that would be great. And if there's anything that we didn't answer, again, remember, even after the Facebook Live is done, any comments that anybody puts out there, we are monitoring it, and we will respond to 100% of any questions that did not get answered in our Facebook Live today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll go back and answer them for you.
Great question. Do you have a true open door policy? So let me tell you, and for the drivers of ours that are online, love it if you guys will comment back here. We can't open the doors more. You basically come in and check through safety so we know you're in the building. And frankly, that's for safety reasons in case we have a fire or any kind of tornadoes or whatever that might be. But once you're signed in, you can walk right to our chairman's office. You can walk right to our president's office. Most of you guys don't come up and see us very often, but open door policy 100%. We'll feed you lunch every time you're coming through the office.
Yep.
And your fleet managers are at your beck and call. So yeah, we're actually quite proud of that, and we get a lot of feedback of how nice it is to be able to just come on in and talk to whoever you want to.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of fleet managers, the one thing that I think sets ATS apart differently is our fleet managers are here in St. Cloud, Minnesota, and our CSRs, customer service reps, are literally 10 feet away, sometimes 20 feet, in St. Cloud, Minnesota. So if there is a problem with a load, we're not dealing with a brokerage company. It's all in-house, and that's extremely important. If there is a problem, we can usually get it resolved a lot quicker than if you were working with a third party.
Well, you guys, we're at 11:30, and like I said, we're playing with this to find out what works best for everyone. But like I said, please, even if you're seeing a recorded version of this, take the time to write additional comments. If there's somebody that you think you could share it with that might get some value out of this. But pass the word. We're going to do this every Thursday until further notice. But I'm committed to the next couple of months. So every Thursday, 11 o'clock, come to ATS, ask us anything, and maybe gives you a little bit of time to maybe prepare some questions for next round. So I really do appreciate having you guys join us. For our ATS drivers that joined us today, we're so grateful for you guys and grateful for you helping support functions like this. And for anybody new to ATS that joined us for the first time, just know that we're here to answer any questions, and our door is always open for a phone call. And as I stated earlier, Drive, the number 4, ATS is where all of these programs are completely spelled out. How to contact us is on there. And I personally invite you to reach out to me personally. Again, my name is Joe, Joe, at atsinc.com. Can't wait to see everybody next Thursday. Bye now.
See ya.
Good job, Pat.
I think I hit end.